Hey guys, what's up? There's a few guarantees in life, right? Sky is blue, you have to pay your taxes, and that Inter have an agreement with Ademula Lukman, and that there's a new development in the Hakan Calhanoglu saga. Once again, the telenovela continues, and today Hakan speaks directly to the Italian media at Appiano Gentile at the Inter training headquarters. So we'll get into that, react to that video together. And of course, before we get into it, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So let's have a look. What did our beloved Hakan say? Caught today, entering the headquarters. Here he is with his sunglasses on, with a tan on, looking nice and refreshed, but not looking too happy. But fair play to him. He did it. No other player seems to have done it. He stopped to take some pictures and to speak to the media. I think it was overdue from Hakan's side. We haven't heard from him outside of that one statement that he released after Lautaro and Marotta's interview. We haven't heard from him, and he kind of admitted that he chose to do that on purpose. So, interview starts off with saying, they asked him, how's the injury? He said, my calf is okay. He's had a calf injury since the Club World Cup. But then he admits, my vacation wasn't easy. We were always in contact with the club. I did all my preparation there and came back in the best condition, and I'm happy to be back. I am Inter. So, first of all, his vacation wasn't easy. He's referring to the injury probably, and of course to the fact that there's been so many murmurs and rumors that probably he's been feeling that, everyone, I've seen videos of people going up to Hakan, with a video selfie and asking him like, oh, are you going? Or Turkish fans saying, are you coming? So he's brought it, kind of him and his entourage and his barbers and friends that have been posting about him coming to Galatasaray, Fenerbahce. They've asked for it. So that's not made his vacation easy, clearly. And I think, as I said, probably deserves it, brought upon himself. And he says, now I'm ready. The rumors, they happen every year. This time, a bit more. I didn't say anything. I wanted to wait until I was back here to speak. Also for the fans, I'm happy. I'm an Inter player, and I've always said I want to stay here. Now, that part, I'm not sure how true that is in terms of he's happy and then I've always wanted to stay here, because, as we've said, yes, his statement, the statement that he released against Lautaro and Marotta, etc., that in that statement he said he wants to stay, but everything afterwards, in terms of not directly coming from him, but things that have come from his entourage, from Galatasaray, from Fenerbahce, confirmations that there have been openings from him. And by the way, yesterday there was also Hakan's agent spoke out, Gordon Stipic, who was waffling a little bit. Again, he's denying it, but they can't deny it because Marotta, Ausilio, they basically confirmed. They said that Turkish teams or Hakan has open to these offers. They want an answer whether he wants to stay or not. So they can't deny that. There is definitely truth to that. So the backtracking now isn't really going to help. But he claims that he's happy as an Inter player and he always wants to stay here. The interviewer, for some reason, even asked him about contract renewal. I mean, the guy already earns 6.5 million net. I'm hoping they're not talking about increasing his salary now. And he says, hopefully, we'll see. Now let's see what happens in these years. But my goal is to win trophies here. Yeah, he's not even talking about, well, now let's see what happens in these days. He's talking about in these years. And my goal is to win trophies here. And then, of course, key question, they asked him about Lautaro. He said, yeah, I spoke with Lautaro. We're professionals. Everything is cleared up. No problem. When the captain returns, we'll hug, and that's it. He's on vacation now, and that's fine. Our heads will fall before now. We're all relaxed. And yeah, it's interesting that part of the interview, because that was something I wanted to know. And of course, so the rumors were true. The two did talk to each other. There was a clear the air call or video call, wherever it was, between Lautaro and Hakan. And of course, these types of things happen. That's never been too much of my concern, the dressing room, chemistry, because, you listen to interviews of all the great teams. I watch a lot of, stuff from like Rio Ferdinand, and he brings on a lot of the guys from Man United. You don't have to be pally with all your friends, with all your teammates. And especially, bit of conflict, a bit of friction at times actually helps or has helped these teams or historically to do better, to get the best out of each player, or some things that needed to be aired out to make sure that the objectives and trophies in the end were achieved, and the group objectives were above individuals. So that side I was never too concerned about. The facts of concern for us ultimately out of this interview is, as we said, Pazza Inter this summer is back in full fashion. Somehow we've now gone from expecting Hakan to leave, and I'm still, expecting him to leave, to be honest. I think what's happened is the Turkish teams don't have the money to satisfy Inter. So I think Hakan's entourage has gathered the fact that anything below 20 million, which seems to be what all these Turkish teams are offering for a 31-year-old who's had an injury-prone season, it's not going to happen. So Inter don't want this to drag on. Marotta, came out with that statement a few weeks back, whether he was right or not. It's clear that Inter don't want this to drag on. The preseason is about to begin in a few days officially. These guys are back today. So if no one comes with a proper offer, in the end, even though Hakan may or may not have made the decision to move back to Turkey with his family, now he has to probably live with the fact that he's probably have to stay at Inter and now fully commit to Inter, which is not the end of the world for Interisti. I think we know, especially with all the rumors that we've seen of the potential replacements of Hakan, a proper, fully fit Hakan, like we know in the Scudetto winning season, is a top player. We saw it even the season before in the Champions League final against Man City season. The issue is, he had that injury. My concerns already started last season with all these injuries, niggling injuries. The form wasn't quite there, and if Inter are changing to a 3-4-2-1, does that suit Hakan in a two, and not being the pivot, not being the regista, which you've seen Hakan kind of seems to thrive in more. In a double pivot, your job becomes more general, doing a little bit of everything rather than specializing in winning back the ball, spreading it, and keep the ball ticking along. You have to start doing a little bit of everything. Your positioning is a bit different. You have to start covering the laterals a bit more vertically, a bit more up and down. It gets more intense physically. So style fit wise as well, it's a little bit concerning with Hakan. And it looks like, if there was the summer of maximizing his value was last season, but we rejected the offers from Bayern Munich and Saudi Arabia last season. Now it looks like we won't be making that money back on Hakan unless a Saudi team comes in. So it's not the end of the world. He's still a good player. I'm not going to, especially, the other day I made the short video of, Inter's best goals from last season in Serie A. And you saw, Hakan was in there, 2 or 3 times. The amount of goals he can score, what he adds from set pieces, from distance, penalties. Even an off-form Hakan from last season, he put up double figures thanks to his penalties and shots from distance. In theory, Zielinski was supposed to add that. He didn't. Barella scored some bangers, but only 3 goals all season. Mkhitaryan obviously is not in that. Maybe Sucic can add that. Maybe Fratesi can add that. But, if Hakan does leave, that hole does become difficult to fill, of goals that created from nothing or goals created from set pieces. Hakan is really key in that. We saw by the end of the season, we basically became set piece merchants, and Hakan and Di Marco's set piece taking ability was key to that. So even just for that ability, it's not the end of the world if you end up keeping Hakan. But again, is he fully committed to Inter? How is his body going to hold up? If Kiva wants to play, a more high pressing system, high line system, he's suited to that. That's where I have my doubts. But there we are. The boys are back in training today. If you haven't seen the videos, I'll just share some videos with you guys here. Benji Pavard is back. Pierre Auxilio just left. Here's Zielinski's coming back. Of course, they got their fancy SUVs. Anjuan Boni came into training today. Jan Bisek came into training today. And there is Hakan. And there is reports here, that there should be a face-to-face with Piero Ausilio, our sporting director, and Hakan, the first meeting since the summer. So hopefully that clears the air. So let's see how things move. But Inter do need to get a move on in terms of outgoings. Whether it's, we know Stankovic is close to finalizing his deal to Club Bruges, but if it's not going to be Hakan now, they need to really get a move on into get rid of Aslani, Taremi. That's where money is going to be made. Sebastiano Esposito. Inter really need to get a move on Tejon Buchanan. It's going to be really pointless to get these guys to come into preseason, and it's just really pointless. And we need to start getting money in so we can make the incomings of course, Lookman, Leoni, whoever we need to bring in. Speaking of outgoing, quick little news that we saw as well coming from Daniele Mari here. Pio Esposito's agent spoke out today, and again, of course, when this agent speak, you have to really take it not with a pinch of salt. You just pour in the whole tub of salt, jar of salt that you have, because to me, he's angling here to try get his boy. He's already renewed his contract recently, but I think he's angling here to get him even bigger renewal or start those talks already. So he said, according to him, Inter rejected 50 million and an equal swap with Lookman when it comes to Pio Esposito. Do we believe that? I don't think I believe that. Inter is aware of Pio Esposito's... Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. Inter is aware of Pio Esposito's value, so much that they rejected offers of 50 million. Atalanta proposed a swap with Lookman for Pio Esposito. The Lookman deal does not conflict with Pio Esposito, who has different characteristics compared to the Atalanta player. I don't know what Inter coach has in mind, but I'm sure that Kiva will give Pio Esposito playing time since he knows him very well. Well, that final part, I definitely hope so too. But then, really, so you're saying that Atalanta were willing to straight swap 50 million for Pio Esposito? We did read reports that they asked for him maybe to be part of this deal, but for him to be valued at 50 and Atalanta being happy to be 50 for Lookman, 50 for Esposito, I don't really believe that. The fact that there's lots of interest for him, I won't deny that, because that's for sure. We know that there's plenty of interest for him. But to me, it sounds like his agent is angling to try and get him already. We know how these agents work. Even if you just renewed, they're ready already for, but if this guy has a few goals at the beginning of the season, boom, give him the 2-3 million net, or, start asking for big money. So hopefully we can keep a lid on this guy, whoever he is. Then he spoke, I guess they've got the same agent. Spoke on Sebastiano, on him. There's Fiorentina, Cagliari, who are very close. But then let me just translate it. Then things slow down. The transfer market is full of accelerations and deaccelerations. We pushed for the transfers, then some issues stopped us. Sebastiano Esposito will still go to another team. So we know 100% Esposito is one of the ones on the exit door. Hopefully we can pull something through very, very soon. That's it, guys, for me today. What is your opinion on now that maybe is this the end of the Hakan saga? Because this could be now, the fact that if he's coming to, and him and his entourage have come to the decision that looks like the Turkish teams can't satisfy Inter's request, it's time to stay. What is your opinion? Would you try to get rid of him anyway, in terms of the stylistic fit, injury issues, concerns, 3-4-2-1 form? Or are you happy? You're happy to keep him? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you up to date as pre-season starts. The boys are coming back. Ciao ragazzi, always forza.